The PSP is one of those systems that I keep coming back to over and over. Whether it's for quick gaming fills or for long plays, it's a system that fascinates me still to this day. A system that came back out in 2004 is still beloved and talked about even in 2023. It just brings me to keep coming back to it. While I have talked ad nauseum about the handheld and all its features, I'm still amazed at all the things it's capable of doing, like playing games, watching UMD movies. Yes, I know, I still watch UMD movies on this thing. To playing music on it, and even graphic digital novels if you're into that sort of thing. I recently moved across country and have finally settled in and have had time to get back into making videos and also getting to play the vast array of gaming systems from my collection. I did a video for what I was playing back in January of this year, and while it was planned on being a monthly feature, it started to change when I had to pack up and move. So I figure I'm going to turn this into a seasonal thing and talk about some of the games I've been playing on the PSP. I'm probably going to jump around between 3 or 4 games every now and then, but expect to see a video in fall and, of course, come winter time as well, as I've been jumping back into the system and want to keep playing the games for it. First game that I started playing again was GTA Liberty City Stories. I always felt that the GTA games that came out for the PSP were a little underrated. Despite the games feeling like full-fledged GTA titles, they don't get talked about as much as 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. Lately I've been in a bit of a GTA phase, and I found myself playing all the old titles from the original trilogy on PS2, GTA 4, and of course the PSP games. Back when this came out, I was amazed that I could play GTA on such a small system, and it was capable of recreating that experience I had back when I first played GTA 3. The worlds can look a little bare at times, but overall it plays very similar to the PS2 games, with some setbacks of course. It still provides voice cutscenes set in the in-game engine, and overall the sound quality is pretty great. It's crazy how they were able to pack all that onto a UMD. The game is designed for quick gaming sessions in mind, but most of the missions will take 5 to 10 minutes to beat, so even if you play just 30 minutes, you're bound to finish 4 to 5 missions. Liberty City Stories takes place 3 years before the start of GTA 3 and has you in the role of Tony Cipriani, which you might remember from GTA 3 as one of the early quest givers.
I've done a lot for this family. And now you're expecting
He isn't voiced by the same actor, but it's fine as some of the original cast did return, like Salvador.
I know what you did, and no one is more grateful than me, honestly.
I will say, if you have the physical copy of this game, go in knowing that the load times can be brutal sometimes. I've been playing the digital version, which for some reason runs a little bit smoother and also loads much faster. The game did offer multiplayer when it came out, which was new to the series, but aside from that, it sticks to the GTA format we all know and love. Overall, it's a great game to jump back into. Even if you beat it before, it's fun to go back into it. I do love that the map is still the same as it was in GTA 3, so you're going to get that full experience if you decide to jump in and play this game. The second game that I've been spending time with is MotorStorm Arctic Edge. I always feel like I need a good racing game at all times, and Arctic Edge does not disappoint. The series started on the PS3, and while the PSP version doesn't look as nice, it's still pretty good playing it on the PSP screen. It did also come out on the PS2, but I would recommend the PSP version as it's better to look at, especially after playing the PS3 games. The game is set in the Arctic tundra, so expect most of the level design to be covered in snow. You do get some areas of the courses that are dirt, but with the whole game being called Arctic Edge, it's to be expected. The game has plenty of courses, but one downside I will say is that most of the courses look very similar and aren't all that memorable or tonally different. You do get to choose between a motorbike, ATV, and other off-road vehicles. Music's pretty decent and ranges from a variety of genres while somehow still having a very similar vibe. The racing feels great, and as long as you master the drifting and braking, you won't continually crash into a wall. Aside from the main races, there is a time attack feature, but with no multiplayer or online features available anymore, it's kind of pointless unless you're a fan of time attacks. Overall, it's a great racing experience with great music and great tracks to play along the way, so if you've never played the game, I highly recommend it, so definitely check it out. The final game I jumped back into was Daxter. I felt like I wanted a fun 3D platformer to get into, and Daxter was one of the highly rated PSP games back when it came out. The game is set between Jak 2 and Jak 3 and has you playing as the spunky companion Daxter. The character of Daxter is still voiced by the original voice actor and has all his witty and cringy lines that everyone enjoys. Right?
Looks like the bugs won.
What was that?
Nothing. All right. Everything with more than 2 legs start trembling, cause the Daxtinator is in the building.
Your role in the game is that of an exterminator, and you're tasked with going out to destroy all these new bugs and infestations around the city. Your first job has you off in a hotel clearing out the bugs. The game doesn't do anything all that special. It's a 3D platformer and you gain new abilities and weapons along the way, but as a fan of 3D platformers, it was one that I wanted to get back into, and it's definitely grown on me and can even provide some difficulty at times. You start off the game with just a basic fly swatter, as you can melee attack all the enemies with some combos. Eventually, along the way, you get a jetpack slash bug canister spray thing. I forget the name of it, but it lets you go around and hover around the levels, so if you need to get in between certain areas, you'll use the jetpack and you'll collect these green orbs to kind of refill the jetpack as you go. But a lot of the puzzles do involve you kind of figuring out how to get from here to there, using platforming and of course the spray canister to, you know, bump you up and down. There were parts of the game where I kind of got lost along the way, so just know that there are areas where the level design isn't really explaining to you exactly what you need to do. It's still a fun platformer, and it's set in the Jak and Daxter universe, which I love, so definitely recommend you check this one out as well. The more time I spend with the PSP, the more I find myself loving it more and more every single time I get around to playing it. If you owned a PSP back in the day, then you know what I'm talking about, and you know that you will always have this love for it and nostalgia that just can't be replicated by anything new that has come out. It was just such a unique system, and I really hope Sony would someday bring this back to light and come out with some type of new handheld that isn't this Project Q nonsense. Portable gaming has seen a new revival, and I'm so happy to see so many people enjoying portable handheld gaming, whether it's through emulation devices or original hardware like the PSP. I'll see you guys in the fall with 3 more titles that I'll be jumping in along the way. So thank you for tuning into my video, and make sure to check out all the other content that I have, and I'll see you all very soon.